Hello, good evening, salutations, welcome. Hope everybody's doing well tonight. I'm doing all right today. I found out a few hours ago, actually less than a few hours ago, that there was a COVID exposure in one of my kids' classrooms today. So, who knows what's going to happen? I'm not scared. I ain't scared. We've come this far, haven't we? Everything's getting fired up. If you're new here, we're going to be taking calls for the next couple of hours. We don't know who's going to be calling. We don't know what they're going to be calling about. But we're going to sit here and hear them out. If you've never called in, you're free to call in about anything that you're going through, anything that you want to vent, anything that you want to confess, anything that you want to get feedback on. We just ask that you remain anonymous. No names, no locations. If you do slip up and reveal your identity or something about your identity, we toast you. That's not to say we give you a friendly speech. It's actually quite the opposite. We hang up on you. I hang up on you. It sounds like this. So please, we don't like hearing that sound here. We don't like toast here. The sound does make it slightly more palatable for everybody, but we don't like hanging up on people. So we ask that you just be careful. Everything's getting fired up. We're going to dive in pretty quickly tonight. Get your phones ready. If you've never called in before, hit 1 on the phone menu that you're greeted with. It'll give you some instructions on how to not get toasted, and some tips on how to dive into a productive call right out of the gate. Calls are coming in. Going to pick one at random. Here we go. Hello, thanks for calling.
Hey, Julian, how are you?
I am well. How are you tonight?
I'm okay. I'm just kind of bored hanging in tonight.
Can we start with your age and then a brief rundown of what you're calling about?
What was the first thing before the rundown?
Your age.
Oh, I'm 25.
25.
And I'm calling just because I'm kind of in a rut creatively, and I kind of look up to you as a creative person. Just having watched your videos growing up, and I'm kind of curious, like, I basically go to work and occasionally see friends, and that's not really what I want to be doing. I'd much prefer to be writing or making music or anything other than just browsing social media. And it's a deeper problem than just me wanting that, because I'm constantly deactivating my Instagram, for example. I isolate myself to the point where even when I'm with my friends, I don't even really feel like I guess it's a real issue feeling present in general. All this to say, I called because I feel like you have a lot of videos, and then there was this period where you weren't online, at least as far as I could tell. You know, I kind of lived my own life for a while, but the videos that I consider, you know, a part of your repertoire, those stopped coming, and the last thing I really remember seeing about you from you before Anonymous was your haircut video, where you were talking about how you didn't want to make videos for the algorithm, and it's something I really struggle with, because when I say I want to be creative, like I have stories and things that I need to get off my chest, and I feel like there's not really a place to put them anymore. where they're seen, and then I'm really conflicted because I feel like I'm just making stuff to be seen, and it's not really that. It's just knowing that I have stuff to share that I'm not sharing, and I don't know that I'm really going to get an answer or anything. I just kind of wanted to get that off my chest because it's a really complex headspace to live in, and I do every day, and I have a decent job, and I think that's where the real issue lies in this, is I'm making enough money to live well above my means, I think at one point I wanted to be like creative just because I thought the fame would bring me money, which would let me, do the things that I wanted to do. And then at some point throughout college, I was making short films and like living this creative life, and it kind of seemed like I'd get out of college and then continue that. But the reality is, I started making the money to do the things that I wanted to do, and now there's this real stark divide because I know that I still have more to do creatively that I'm, I guess, shirking. That's kind of long and short of it.
Yeah. Well, you said it yourself. There's things that you're not doing because you're still processing what you make of all this. I mean, we're certainly in this new world where, algorithms replacing editors is just one small step towards where the world is going. I'm trying to, I really want to do our best here to keep this stream as far away from ideologies and politics as we can. However, I realize that certain calls are going to come in where people are really struggling emotionally with the repercussions of these things. And so I think your call qualifies for that. I'm happy to spitball a little bit with you on this.
Thank you.
You said it yourself that there's things that you're not doing. There's things that you feel compelled to not do, or confused about doing, or conflicted about doing, because of this new world that is opening up with artificial intelligence replacing employees. In years past, for example, in your case, there were the gatekeepers for entertainment and storytelling and journalism even were humans, people sitting in offices saying, this story should go, this story should not go, this project should go, this project should not go. And now, a lot of this is being done by artificial intelligence and algorithms. We're in the early stages of it. Of course, I've had, I think every content creator has had their, maybe not every single content creator, but many of them, especially many who are in specific fields or have specific interests, like it sounds like you do. And this has been a really difficult thing for a lot of people. But at the end of the day, we are in this world, and it's not to say that the world will always be the same that it is now. In fact, a lot of these companies that do rely on algorithms to curate content are companies that are still very experimental. Even YouTube is experimenting like crazy with their own algorithms, and they've gone back and forth on some things. And I think that shows an open-mindedness. I think it's a good sign. I think it shows that there's nothing we can really know about where this is going, and that that's all the more the reason that we should just try to find a way to do and say the things we need to do and say, despite this new landscape we find ourselves in. I'm really sorry to hear about the creative rut you're in. I know that can be really difficult. There've been many. I've taken many breaks. You asked me a question. This isn't about me here. This show.
Yeah.
But but I don't want to dodge it either. To be very short and succinct about it, there's been many different reasons. I've taken so many breaks, and there have been many different reasons for many of the breaks. So, yeah, there was a time where I was trying to figure out how to do what I do in light of this new means of curation with algorithms. But other breaks I took were because I just needed a break, or because I was going through something personal that, and I've never had a really consistent release schedule here anyway. So, all that to say, like, don't read too much into my history or what I've done here. I'm me. I'm not you. You're not me. You're you. You have your own life experience. You have your own journey you're on. I'd be careful what I glean from any content creator from that standpoint, because creativity is such a fragile, spontaneous thing,
For sure.
I really like there's a lot of artists who talk about the muse, that there's a lot of artists who like talk to a muse, like an invisible person. Some of these people may be religious, some of these people may be actually praying, but the idea of the muse transcends religion, transcends ideology, it transcends politics. The idea of the muse is that there's this inspiration that comes from somewhere else. And what I'm hearing you say is that you're struggling with that you're not sure how to tap into that in this new world. And I would say that
I think it's like a silencing of the muse, like a kind of shutting it, almost.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I thought I'd throw that out there.
No, that's good. I would say that there's a lot of stuff up in the air right now. We're in this. I mean, it's only going to get more complex. So I would say to you, if you're in a creative rut, the best thing you can do is to forget the world you live in. You can't forget everything. You got to be relevant. You got to be. Your art stands to solve problems, so you can't just be completely flailing. You can't just be releasing stuff that's irrelevant or not helpful or practical for people to consume. You've got to have a market. You've got to have an angle. You've got to have some kind of theme that is important to you, that you believe in, that you believe is valuable to other people, and you've got to chase that no matter what year you're born in, whether you're born in the age where the printing press was invented, or the age where of today, where it's matured so far that now artificial intelligence is curating all this stuff. There's a book I want to mention to you. It's a very popular book. Are you familiar with the book Big Magic?
No, I've never heard of it.
Okay, it's by Elizabeth Gilbert. She wrote Eat, Pray, Love. Are you familiar with Eat, Pray, Love?
I think I've seen the movie.
Okay.
I haven't read the book, though.
She's a massive author. I have not read Eat, Pray, Love, but Big Magic is an amazing book. It talks a lot about the muse, and Elizabeth Gilbert also has a TED Talk on her creative process and the muse, which is amazing to watch. I would really recommend checking out her book, Big Magic. I'm going to put the Goodreads link in the chat for you. And then maybe consider going on YouTube later and looking at her TED Talk, Elizabeth Gilbert's TED Talk. Might be helpful for you.
Thank you. I didn't really know where this would go aside from just hearing some input. That's kind of my main constant struggle right now, so I don't know that I have much else to add aside from that.
I would say to you, I said it already, but I'll say it again in closing. Find a theme. Every great story, every great piece of art begins with a theme, an idea that carries. And some artists create their entire careers around a theme, and a good theme is dense and can be explored in different ways, and has rich meaning for various people. So I would say to you, find a theme, and let the world that you live in come second to the importance of the theme. If you find a theme that's important to you, that'll drive it. That'll drive the rest of it.
I definitely have the theme. I'm afraid to act on it for whatever reason.
Okay, well, this book, I feel even better about recommending this book. This is the full title of the book is Big Magic: Creative Living Beyond Fear.
Well, that sounds great.
Check it out. It's a very popular book. On Goodreads, it has 184,000 reviews. I think this might be the most popular book we've ever talked about on this stream so far, actually. And we talk about a lot of books, so that's saying something. Check out Big Magic.
I'm glad I could prompt it, for sure. Thanks, Julian.
Take care of yourself. Wishing you the best. Good night.
Okay.
Thank you, Diaz, for that super chat. Okay, guys, lines are opening again. Hi, thanks for calling. Hello?
Hello?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you for having me.
Thanks for calling. Can we start with your age and then what's on your mind?
Yeah, for sure. Can you hear me okay, everything? I have you on speaker, but I can throw some headphones on. That'll make it better. Let me... I got a lag here going on.
Don't listen to the speakers on the stream. The stream is delayed by about 10 seconds.
I'm gonna mute it. I'm gonna throw my headphones on though, if that's okay.
Okay, I'll give you a second.
Yep, I got you.
Great. So can we start with your age and then a brief rundown of what you're calling about?
Yes, sir. Give me a second. I'm plugging in my headphones.
Okay.
Can you hear me like even better now?
It sounds good.
Okay, sorry about that, man. I actually didn't know if you would actually answer me, to be honest, or
no problem.
Whatever, but I think I came at the right time, so.
Good. Let's start with your age.
I am 33.
33. And what brings you to call tonight?
Well, I guess, first of all, I just saw this pop up. I am a subscriber first. And I saw it popped up, you had a live, and it was like 4 minutes in, and I was like, well, let me give it a shot. And I've also noticed that you're doing some things out of the ordinary compared to what you have done in the past, and I was kind of curious about that, and I definitely have some, I'm reading it, it says a safe place to be real, so I'm going to be real. I've had some like stuff going on with me, like in my life that I could definitely talk about or whatever.
Great. Well, I'm hoping it's great. I'm hoping that you've got at least some direction, but if not, that's okay. Let's get into it. What's going on?
Well, first of all, also, you don't have to anonymize my voice, if that's a word or whatever. Like,
yeah, we do it for everybody. We do it for everybody.
I was gonna say I'm completely okay with you. If you can take the filter off my voice, you can. I want to talk to you as a real person, because we all are real people. But if that's not the goal of your
you're on the verge of being toasted because we've got a lot of people calling in, and we're 3 minutes into the call and we haven't talked about anything. I'm not trying to be rude, but I am trying to get.
Okay. All right, tell me your questions and I will answer them. I'm so sorry.
No, don't be sorry. You just got to keep in mind we get a lot of trolls, and I never know. I don't know who I'm talking to, so I never know if like I've had people call in and say some crazy things, and so we have to have toast here as a mechanism for safety. And also,
I'm not trying to be a troll at all.
Okay.
Just,
the anonymity. It's not an option. It's ruthless here. So you got to have anonymity.
That's what I was wondering.
No names. No names, no locations. We get your age, and that's it. But what's on your mind?
Okay.
what's on my mind? Oh, so many things. Okay, so I can tell you right now that I've been going through some stuff. So about 2.5 weeks ago, my biological dad passed away.
Oh.
And this is anonymous, right?
100% anonymous.
So I can actually say everything about this, right?
That's the idea.
All right, good. I don't want to get doxxed later, but I trust you, man.
How the tables have turned. You wanted to dox yourself, and I wouldn't let you. I'm sorry.
On here, I can dox myself all day. Usually, that's how it happens. I dox myself, but
well,
all right. So
I'm glad to see the value of it.
Related to that, right?
Yeah. Whatever you want to say, it's here. We're here for you.
Would it offend you if I vape while I'm talking to you, or is that off limits?
No, wherever you are is fine.
All right, I'm just trying to talk and be chill in my comfort in my own home.
Yeah.
Thank you, Julian.
I'm sorry you lost your father. I can't imagine. I'm sorry.
No, I know. So I was going to go into more detail about that. So it's awesome that I got to know my father, but I only met him 5 years ago, and I only knew him about for 5 years. And he since he was 13 was a raging alcoholic, or I don't know. I don't know if you can be an alcoholic at 13. I mean, you're not even legal drinking age, but he was drinking since he was 13 or whatever, and I lost him because of that or whatever. But I only ever met him 5 years ago because I didn't even know he was my father. And that's kind of rough, but I'm totally cool with it because my mom had to get that off her chest, and I love her very much. And I'm really grateful that she told me that. Most people's reactions would be like, oh, you're keeping this a secret, or well, I guess I can't say that. Not that most people's reactions could be anything like that, but me personally, I don't jump the gun, so to speak.
Right.
Sorry, am I talking too much, man? I don't know.
No, man. This is all you. We try to keep calls to about 30 minutes here. But it sounds like you're going through a lot. We are close to 30 minutes. I'm trying to give you the rundown since it sounds like this is your first time. We're here for you. Nothing's off limits. We just ask no names, no locations, and that way you can feel safe.
I don't want to do that for myself too.
Exactly.
So,
yeah,
I appreciate that.
We're listening.
So
we're all ears.
It's 10:23, so we got about until 11, give or take, whatever. It's your thing. So whatever you want to cut me off, you can. But I got a lot to say about this. I promise. This is not the only thing that's going on right now. But okay, so that's that thing. I only learned that he was my biological father until, like I said, about 5 years ago. I've known him for 5 years. I already knew he had a drinking problem, all this stuff. I know other things that he and my mom have talked about, off and on, but before my mom revealed that to me. And again, I have no beef on my mom. I'm glad she got that off her chest. I don't know how it works for every other person, but for me, my mom. Hello?
Is this the caller I was just speaking with? This is Julian.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it was. Yes,
sorry,
sir.
I lost you. Sorry, chat. I was trying to boost the caller's voice, and we had a crash on the system. I apologize. We've reconnected with the caller. I'm trying to boost your volume a little bit, caller. Seems like a couple people are having trouble hearing you. I am tracking with you. Just to recap, you were saying you lost your father, which I'm really sorry to hear about. It sounds like, am I right? Did I hear right that you didn't know your father until very recently?
Yeah, I've only known my biological father for about 5 years. Yeah.
Wow. So what was that like, losing your father after only knowing him for 5 years? And what was it like before that, getting to know him?
Well, getting to know him, that's the interesting thing that you would talk about. And by the way, I appreciate you calling me back. I really do. Thank you, Julian.
Sorry, we lost the stream, guys.
No, it's all right. It happens. I get it. Um, Not only did I only know him for 5 years, but I knew that he was a drinker or whatever. Like, I've always known that he's always been a drinker, and I was conceived by a drunken night of debauchery, so to speak, or whatever, which is probably not uncommon. I mean, I'm not the only person, so I just have to be honest there. If anyone's experiencing that, it's not, you know, you're not a piece of crap or anything like that. But still, it's hard to hear after, like, I will tell you my age if I'm allowed to. I'm 33, and I only realized or heard that when I was like, it was like 5 years ago. So do the math. I'm bad at math, so I'm sorry, but yeah. So I knew that. But anyway, that's what he died from was his alcoholism. And genetically speaking, I am an alcoholic, I guess. That's my choice, I feel like, but I am predisposed to drinking, and I do like to drink. And I'm not gonna lie, I have drank today, but I also worked an 8-hour job, and I have done so this entire week. So I am working. It's not like I'm a low life alcoholic, if you want to call it that. But yeah, it's a lot for me to wrap my brain around who I am and what he was and all this. But since I really only knew him for like those 5 years, I'm not really that bent out of shape about it. And also, I don't know, like, I'm not going to be compared to the people who have known him 15, 20, 25 plus years. I just won't be. And I've never called him dad or anything. That's why I said my biological father. That's all I know.
Right.
So, man, I hope this is interesting enough for like, it's what's been going on. Now, I've got more to add that, aside from him or whatever. I mean, there's plenty for me to go over, but that's my
what's your
basic
life like?
premise right now.
It's not about being interesting. This isn't entertainment. I like to say this isn't entertainment or entertaining. That's not the point of this. We're doing this for the community. We do these streams 3 times a week, and we just listen, and we hear where people are and what they're going through, and if they need to vent something or confess something or get feedback on something. So where are you now? I mean, do you want to talk about the alcohol, or do you want to talk about growing up fatherless, or what would you say is your biggest struggle right now? Or maybe the best question is, what leads you to drink so heavily?
Well, I don't know. It's a good question. Also, to back up on what you were saying, I appreciate the fact that you do this, Julian, and you keep it anonymous, and like I really do, like, for real appreciate that. Like, you feel like your life is this now, as opposed to like funny videos, and like I respect that, I really do, because everybody changes, like, for sure. So again, I know this is not about you, but I just gotta give you props, man. Like, I appreciate what you're doing. Okay. Did you lose me, or what's going on? I'm sorry.
I appreciate it. So what leads you to drink so heavily?
Well, I mean, like, the easiest
I've got you.
way to say it would be like genetics, I guess, or whatever. Like, if you want to say that, but I don't believe that. I just enjoy it. But I also can maintain an everyday full-time job as well. So you would call it like functioning, or like, I'm not anti-functioning. Like, I can function with my alcohol. I realize that after a day of hard work, I'm going to go home, I want to get a buzz before I go to sleep. It actually helps me go to sleep. So I don't necessarily think that's a problem, but I can also understand how that definitely could be a problem. You know what I'm saying? It's like a double-edged sword, so to speak. Anyway, we can move on from that. That dude's dead. That might be why I like to drink. I don't want to believe it.
Yeah.
Whatever. I like to drink out of my own decision, so we can move
So
on.
there's nothing you're trying to mask through the alcohol?
Mask. It's like an interesting thing to use the word mask. Like, I don't feel like I really mask myself
Yeah.
from society. I'm pretty like straightforward. I speak my mind. I'm not one to. I'm sorry. Go on. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What you were saying?
I was just going to ask
Julian,
what would
I
make
got
this a
you.
good call for you. What would make this a good call for you?
Well, the whole thing's been a good call, to be honest. I mean, like I said, I've got a lot more to talk about or whatever.
Hello?
I didn't want to.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, am I not? Are you not hearing me? I don't know what I could do. Like,
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Internet. Yeah, for sure.
It seems like there's some issue happening.
I don't know if it's on my end or your end, to be honest.
I wonder if I've tried to. I tried to boost your volume, and I wonder if while I was live, and I wonder if I messed it up. Guys, I think it's on my end. Stand by, guys.
Hello?
All right. How's this?
Sounds as good as it was before, sir.
Okay, so it sounds like the delay's gone. I was also sensing some kind of delay. The chat was telling me there was a delay. It seems like that's resolved. I think what happened was when the program crashed earlier, it caused some kind of delay. It sounds like it's gone now.
Okay, perfect.
So what would make this a good call? I know you said it's already been a good call, but it sounds like you've lived a very unique life. You grew up fatherless. It sounds like you had a father figure in your life, but you didn't know your real dad. And then you finally met him and found out he was an alcoholic, and then he died from that. And now you're wrestling with some alcoholism, and I guess I'm wondering what it is that would make this a good call. I mean, you called in for a reason. Surely. So, what is it that's on your mind? Does something keep you up at night? Is there something that keeps you up at night if you don't drink?
No. Like, I really don't think it's as bad. Like, I would say it's functional alcoholism, but again, that's still in the same vein as alcoholism or whatever. Mm-hmm. I can hold down a job. I can do all the same things, but functional alcoholism, I realize these things. Also, I do have a father figure in my life. My mom wasn't just with the person that I thought my dad was from the beginning. She was with, after him, my stepdad. So my stepdad basically raised me. And he raised me for the year, through the years that, actually mattered, like my teen years, my preteen years, my prepubescent years. He was a great guy, and I can still call him today. And as far as I'm concerned, that is my dad. You know, my stepdad was, or that stepdad. Now I have like another stepdad, but I don't have any relationship with him. I just pretty much put up with him, I guess. And that's not to say that he's a bad person or anything. Like, he is a good person at heart. He just makes some stupid decisions, whatever. We all do, though. I'm pretty, what's the word? I try to acknowledge the fact that we're all human and we're all living our life, and so I try to be positive, but it doesn't mean that I don't have effed up stuff that's happened in my life. Sorry, I'm trying to omit swear words because I want this to be family friendly for you or whatever. But yeah, if I wanted to, I could say all swears in the book, but I won't do that. But yeah. So where was I though? I was thinking about something. It was
Do you get good sleep?
No, on
Falling asleep with alcohol? Do you feel well rested when you wake up in the morning after having a bunch to drink? And to be clear, I'm not anti-alcohol, and I realize that a lot of people call in here struggling with alcohol. So I'm not dogging on you for having any alcohol. But if you're an alcoholic, that might be a totally different story. Some people need to cut it out of their life entirely, and so I'm not sure how much you drink. You haven't said that. I'm not sure still what it is that leads you to drink to fall asleep. I mean, drinking before sleeping is guaranteed to be some of the lowest quality sleep you'll get. And so I guess I'm wondering a couple things. I'm wondering what happens if you don't drink before you go to bed? And then I'm wondering, how do you feel the next morning when you wake up after drinking? And then maybe also, how much do you drink before you go to bed?
Yeah, you know what? I really appreciate that question, and it's something that I've asked myself as well. I'm not gonna lie. Again, like somebody who does have a problem is never gonna admit they have a problem. Their brain is just gonna tell them that they need this or whatever, and like I contemplate that like all the time. Like I don't need this, but I've never tried to go without. But it's something I've been contemplating for sure. But as far as I can tell you about like going to bed after a hard day's work, working in a hot ass factory, sorry if I said ass, I'm sure that's not that big of a deal, but
you're fine, don't worry about it.
But yeah, like the hot factory I work in is like just, dude, it's like 100 degrees in there every day, man. Like working around furnaces and stuff. And I feel like I put in my good work for the day, and I feel like in almost some ways, and that could be the addiction speaking to me, my brain is wired toward it, and I get that, but it's like I deserve this, or I need this. This is my release. I can come home and I can have like my 3 beers, and if you want to talk about the intake, it varies from day to day. I made a personal choice to not buy liquor anymore, because liquor, I overdo it way too much. I could literally drink like half a bottle in one night, maybe a full bottle if you gave me like a full day and a half or whatever. So I personally do not drink liquor. So I will say, and I'll admit it to myself, as a functioning alcoholic, I will drink like, I don't know if you ever heard of it, but it's called Natty Daddy, like a 3-pack, and each tall boy is 8%, and they're all over the place. So I'd be surprised if you have not heard of that. I guess unless you're not a drinker, but you know, either way. I don't know if I answered all your questions, but if I didn't, ask me them again or whatever you want to do, sir.
Yeah, well, you know, Taylor Lorimore from the chat just said, "Caller, just remember, no one is here to judge you," and I think that's perfect timing. You know, nobody's here we're just here listening. We get all kinds of calls. It sounds like this is your first experience here on the stream. If you stick around for a few streams, you'll be surprised eventually by a call, like the kind of calls that come in here. So I mean, I wouldn't say that your call is out of the ordinary. There is nothing off the table here. You know, it sounds like maybe you're still processing a lot. Sounds like maybe, I mean, you grew up not knowing your biological father. You didn't know him till 5 years before he died. And your father died from alcoholism, it sounds like. And I'm sure you don't want to follow,
sure.
You don't want to follow in those footsteps. I'm also not here to tell anybody how much they should drink or how much they shouldn't drink. But you just got to keep in mind that a lot of people call in here like drinking a bunch, and they're like begging for any ideas on how to change their habits. And so I'm not really sure how to respond to your call because I'm not here to tell people what to do. And it sounds like you have some healthy convictions, and you've realized some good things about yourself. Like you said, you don't buy liquor anymore because if you have that around, you're just going to go crazy with it. It sounds like you kind of keep yourself in check in a good way. So I'm not sure. Honestly, I'm not sure what to what it is that would make this a good call for you. But I am sorry to hear
No,
your story.
it was a good call to talk or whatever. I had one other thing to add, but the good call is just getting stuff off my chest, man. Like,
Good,
we were
good.
talking about the drinking and all that stuff.
Good.
But so 2.5 weeks ago, my biological father died. But like literally, like 3 days ago, my grandmother died on my mom's side. So like I definitely have. I was trying to build it up and fulfill. Like you said, you want to give like 30 minutes to an
Did I
hour or
lose
whatever.
you?
So I was just trying to fill that in. I hope he didn't lose me or
Hello?
whatever. But if he did, that's fine. I'm still here.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. I don't know, man.
Call's still going, but I can't hear anything.
Yeah, I don't know. The
Can you hear me, caller?
are kind of weird like that. I can hear you. I can hear you. 100%. I can hear you. I'm watching you too. Everything's cool.
Checking. Chat, can you guys hear the caller? I can't hear anything.
If I haven't fulfilled whatever you need done in your life stream or whatever, I just
Yeah, I'm
wasn't
not hearing
done
anything.
explaining, but
Caller can hear me.
Maybe.
Caller's audio is choppy.
I'm so sorry about that. I don't know what I'm
Oh
doing.
boy, more YouTube audio issues. We had this issue a couple streams ago. It has worked fine since, but there was a night, an epic night a few weeks ago where all kinds of audio issues were happening on YouTube, and it seemed like it was a YouTube problem. Definitely wasn't on my end.
Yeah, no, YouTube has that sometimes.
Stand by.
Live streams are definitely interesting. They can be, or whatever. Well, I don't know what else to do. I mean, I guess that's on your end or my end, or let me know what I can do, and I will do the best I can.
Looks like the call's still going.
I didn't really have much else to say.
Checking. There we go. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I've heard you the whole time. Can you hear me?
I think I fixed it. There was an audio issue on my end that I fixed. There was a sample rate discrepancy. Somehow my sample rate changed back to. It's technical. Anyways, something got reverted when the thing crashed earlier. I apologize.
That's all right. It happens, man. I'm not holding it to you. You're good.
Yeah. Glad we got it restored. So you were saying it was a good call and that it was helpful to get some things off your chest. I'm glad to hear that. Is there anything else that you need to get off your chest?
Yeah, no, I was adding that, and that's probably about the time it broke up. But so before 2.5 weeks ago that my biological father died, which really doesn't affect me that much, if I'm honest, because I only knew him for like 5 years. But my grandmother passed away about 3 days ago. So
oh wow, so you've been dealing with a lot of loss.
With that. Yep, I'm dealing with it. It's surprising. And then literally the day after she passed away, I was starting my new job at my company, and I was like, hey, this is cool. I'm doing good. And I went out for lunch break, and my brother called me. And he's supposed to be at work. He works first shift as well. He called me, and, it was like 1 minute. I literally was just walking out, and I missed his call, and it was like by 1 minute. I called him back, and then he said, oh, his wife was literally getting rushed to the hospital for this and that. She's good now, by the way, which is awesome. I'm like, thank God, glory to God. I will say I'm a Christian for sure. So that keeps me going, but, glory to God, she was good. She just had like an allergic reaction to whatever they were doing with her. But still, like, that was a lot to take on in that moment,
Right.
Like I said, my dad thing is one thing, but definitely my grandmother, and then that I literally was like on the parking lot on my break, and I had to like lean up on my back of my trunk of my car. And I got like my e-cig, and I'm trying to like hit some nicotine or whatever. And, like, not that it's good for me, obviously, but I'm like trying to hit my e-cig, and all I can do is like, like get a little teary-eyed and like cry and stuff. And like I had to say a prayer, obviously. Like I don't know what else to do in those moments, like when nobody else is there for you. I mean, my family's always there, but like God, He don't always answer. But like I always gotta pray. That's my like natural reaction, like I gotta talk to God. So yeah, I don't know. I've been dealing with that, but like other than that, like life's been pretty good. I mean, I'm on my third day. Today I got off work, and this is my third day and going in tomorrow. I don't have to work mandatory Saturday tomorrow, so things are kind of looking up. At least I hope they are. But like I still have all this residual stuff that I'm trying to deal with. But I'm like grateful. I don't know. I'm just grateful to be alive, and I don't know. I know this is like an anonymous live. Like, what's going on? What are you thinking? Are you feeling okay? But like, I don't know. It can be happy. Like, just be positive. That's what I say. Everybody, really.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's what your goal was for this or whatever, but like, I'm going through some rough shit. But like, oh, pardon me, pardon my French. I'm sorry. But
Yeah, if it was French, you would have said
everyone's going
meld.
through rough stuff. Hey, wait, say again, dude.
Yeah, it's a little joke. I said if you were really speaking French, you would have said meld. Not sure about my pronunciation there. That's French for shit.
Oh,
No, you don't
meld?
have to apologize. You don't have to apologize for swearing.
No, that was from the milk thing. No, I like that actually. No, my sister-in-law, the one
No, I
that
said
went to
meld.
the hospital.
I said meld. It's French for shit. Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
We've gotten
My
off.
bad. I misinterpreted
I
it.
didn't mean to get us off on a bad tangent. I was
I
making a
was thinking
joke.
about one of your
You
previous videos.
You
or
said
whatever.
you said pardon my French, and then you said shit, and I was just making a joke that wasn't French, that was English. Yeah, everybody.
No, I get it now.
Everybody uses this space differently. There's no need to feel the need to make this like a specific kind of call. Pascal from the chat says to you, caller, there isn't any proper way to deal with grief. It's a journey in your own time. I think that's beautiful. I think that's on point. There's a bunch of love going out to you in the chat. You're certainly going through a lot.
Oh, he's right, man, for sure. Like, I don't feel me personally, and I'll keep this brief. I'll end this after this, but let me say this one thing, okay?
Go for it.
Is that fair?
Sure.
So, like, I personally do not deal with people dying the same way. I don't feel like I deal with it the same way as most people. Now, that's not to say there's not somebody out there who doesn't deal with it in my same way, but I would say we're seldom and few between. I usually, when somebody dies, I do not grieve right away. And I know I'm not alone, but I'm just saying, me personally, we're talking about me. Yeah, I don't grieve right away, and I might not ever grieve. Sorry, grieve is the right. I say grief. That's what you do in Minecraft when you're trying to mess somebody's house up. Grieve. I do not grieve in the same way that other people do. I just don't look at death like that. I look at death as like the first step to something eternal, something that is something beyond we can comprehend or whatever. So it's still hard. I mean, don't get me wrong. That's why I called, and I appreciate you having me or whatever. Honestly, I really do. But like, I understand certain things. Like, I understand my problems, and like, not everybody will, but like, I hope that I have been a voice for like some people. Like, I can come in and tell you how I feel and what's going on with me, and like that you're not alone. There's got to be at least like 100 people who are in the same boat as me. It's like they understand their alcohol problem or whatever, drug use, whatever, and they can come in. And also, if they had a loved one die, like they can understand and still be like relatable. Or I guess I don't know quite what I'm saying, but we can't all be alone in this world. Like, for sure, we can't be. Like, there's no way.
That's beautiful. I appreciate you sharing tonight. Best of luck to you on your journey. And you can call back here anytime. This is a safe place. If you're going through more stuff, you can call back anytime. Wishing you the best.
Yeah, no, and I appreciate you too, man. Like, thank you for this. This is the first time ever, but thank you so much, man. I really.
Of course, that's why we're here. Wishing you the best. Have a great night. Take care.
You too, Julian.
Good night. Guys, thanks for bearing with us on those audio issues. I saw the chat saying his voice was too quiet, so I was trying to turn it up and all hell broke loose. I tried to add some plugins. Hi, thanks for calling.
Hi, Julian.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you well. What's going on? Can we start with your age?
Yeah, so I recently had, and by recently I mean today, somewhat of a relapse of depression that I suffered with when I was younger. I've been under a lot of stress, and I've gotten to a point in my life where I'm starting to get a good career. I've done the education path, and I just have to pass an exam now. And I've tried once or twice already to get in, and I've failed both times. And unfortunately, it's just adding to the issues and depression that I've had before. And I'm not sure how much I can actually say about what kind of an exam or for what career, if that would get me toasted.
You can say anything you want here, so long as you don't give us any names, no locations. Maybe don't tell us where you work specifically.
Okay.
Can we start with your age, though?
Yeah. I am 27 years old.
Okay, and you've had a depression relapse. It sounds like you're dealing with some failure, and you're trying to figure out how to keep persevering. How old were you last time you were depressed? How long has it been since you were depressed?
I got a good hold of it. I'd say I hadn't had real depression symptoms for probably 5 years. I've had normal levels of sadness throughout that 5 years, but 5 to 7 years ago, I was fully suicidal. And I started to feel that again today. So, sorry.
No, don't be sorry. That's what this is for. Did you, I'm sorry to hear about all that. Did you ever attempt suicide?
There were a few times where I would drink, and, sometimes I would, I've got guns, and sometimes I would pop a bunch of them out of the chamber, rack the slide a few times, and then, most of the time I had an idea that, there wasn't one in the chamber, but sometimes I would just pull it. But, I never got hospitalized or had any, attempt that would, leave a trace or anything like that.
So you've been dealing with some risky behavior and some suicidal ideation. And
years ago, yeah. But just recently, so it's the bar exam that I'm studying for.
Oh.
I graduated from law school. I feel very privileged to have done so.
Congratulations.
Thank you. But I went into a lot of debt for it, student loan debt. And now, at the very end of it, I just have to pass this exam. And I got really bad ADHD, and I know what I have to do. I have to study and all this. It's coming up very quickly. But I feel so far behind and just so stressed out. And today, I don't know what it was, but I had a breakdown today where I just started crying, and I'm tearing up now, but I don't know, it's just been tough. It sounds so silly because it's I recognize that I'm very fortunate, to get this point in my life, but there's just been a lot of trauma and sadness following me for a long time.
I'm sorry to hear that. Let's talk about that. trauma and that sadness. But first, I want to say to you that you know, it's always darkest before the dawn. I know that's a cliche, but it's more than a cliche. It's, I mean, this is the whole. These are the very things movie scripts are written around, and they're written around them for good reason. Because at the end of every movie, in the middle of the third act, there's always the dark night of the soul. It's a story beat point in most movies for a reason. The hero is on a journey, and towards the end of the journey, right before they're about to accomplish and finish what they set out to do, there's some major setback. There's some huge problem with Marty McFly. It looks like he's not going to be able to get back to the future, and he's playing on that stage like he's supposed to be doing for his parents, and he's disappearing right before his very eyes because it looks like he's not going to make it. This whole thing was for nothing. And that's what being a hero is. It's perseverance. It's keeping going when the going looks rough. And I'm saying that just as an initial encouragement to you, that I don't know exactly what it is you're going through, but I mean, if you've made it this far, you must be very resilient. You must be very intelligent. You must be very stubborn to have gotten this far in law school, in a good way, stubborn. So let's hear about what you're going through. Let's hear about the trauma. You mentioned some trauma.
Yeah, I am a child of divorce. My parents had a really rough, contentious divorce from an early age. My mom basically lied to any and everyone that would listen, and said that my dad did all these terrible things, and he's got multiple kids, I'm not the only one, and basically she said that he abused all of us and he did all these terrible things and badmouthed him in the community. So all growing up, I would always get weird comments and looks. When my dad, he's the sweetest man in the world. Anyone that knows him knows that he wouldn't hurt a fly. And so that started it out. And then I've always been sort of experiencing racism. I don't want to say too much about that, but I'm not white, so a lot of what I've been going through is like from a very early age, just constantly being put down and told pretty heinous things too, even from an early age. And then there's always just been like a feeling of not belonging, and I don't know. It's just been a lot of little things adding up over the years, and you don't really realize how many little things can add up and make someone start to feel depressed and get to the point of suicide. And I'm trying not to give away too much about my life or me or anything, but basically a lot of little things over the course of my entire life have gone pretty negatively. Grew up very poor. A lot of racism, bad reputation in the community with my family.
Caller, I'm not sure if you can hear me, but we're having more issues. I'm not sure what's going on. There's an audio issue again. Goodness, guys. What is up with all the audio issues this week? Stand by, caller. We'll resolve this. Check, check. Caller, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can see you talking, but I can't hear you. I'm not sure why.
That's weird.
If you stand by with us, we'll be able to finish the call. I apologize. I'm on it.
That's okay.
Just give me a second. Things changed. I'm not sure what's the deal. Caller, if you can hear me, you are getting some love in the chat. This might be a good time to review that while I'm trying to fix this. I still can't hear you. I can see you talking. I don't see any issues.
Okay.
Nothing's changed. Everything's good. Sample rate's good.
I don't know.
Nothing's overloaded.
Like, keep talking, maybe it'll improve, or if I go somewhere else.
Yeah, nothing's overloaded. Stand by. Caller, I'm going to try to call you right back and see if that fixes something. Maybe it's something with the phone system. I'm going to hang up and call you right back. I've got your number logged. I'm trusting that's okay with you because we're on the phone here. Stand by. I'm calling you right back.
Did that resolve it?
I still can't hear. I can see the caller talking.
Okay.
Goodness gracious, guys. Look at one more thing here.
I'm reading, but I can't type.
Great. I think we're back now. Okay, guys, we fixed the issue. Caller, I'm so sorry. Chat, I'm so sorry. I have no idea what is up with all the audio issues this week. The last stream, there were none. Last stream went flawlessly, but 2 or 3 streams ago, it was just like this. So I don't know what's going on, guys. I really apologize. Maybe YouTube's having another bad night. I didn't change anything. Caller, where were you? I'm so sorry. You were talking about Last I
Yeah,
heard, you were talking about
you
some
just
severe
asked me.
ADHD and just the stress you're under, and then I lost you.
That's okay. Again, thank you for doing this. It really means a lot that it's anonymous and I can say what I need to say, and there is a community. I have loved ones, but sometimes they just don't understand, or they think it's simple, especially for things like depression.
Right.
Whenever I did experience depression, when I was at the deepest, darkest part of it years ago, I did seek therapy and I did confide to a few of my best friends, and understood everything, and that helped to cope with it and recognize things that need to change. But for some reason today, with the deadline coming up and just the stress of wanting to pass it so I can move on with my life and get on the next stage, I sort of had a mental break and broke down in tears listening to a lecture, and started feeling all the same feelings that I did before all those years ago, which sort of shocked me because I thought I was done with that. And yeah, basically ADHD doesn't help me when I'm studying, and so I'm always blaming myself for not studying more, doing more, anytime that I feel mentally fatigued, not persevering and going through. But I just needed to vent and to talk to someone about this. It scared me a lot, to the point of tears, which you may not believe from this call. I've been tearing up like crazy, but I'm very somber normally, and usually I don't show that much emotion. So,
Well, you're under a lot.
Very,
You've been through a lot, and
yeah.
you're under a lot. There's no shame in that. I want to recommend a resource to you. It sounds like you haven't used this word that I've heard, but it sounds like there's also some pretty severe anxiety happening. Is that right?
A little bit. What do you mean by severe anxiety happening? Like in terms of not passing the bar and that sort of thing, anxiety in that way? Yeah, sure, definitely.
Right. Do you meditate? Have you ever meditated before?
I've tried to in the past, but I sort of just felt silly. I didn't really know what I was doing. I'd sit there and just breathe, and
Right.
that was it.
I imagine with the ADHD, it's pretty difficult, especially if it's severe ADHD, like you mentioned. There's an amazing resource that we talk a lot about here on this stream. There's a woman named Bella Ruth Naparstek. Have you ever heard of her?
No, I have not.
She's a psychotherapist and an author and a meditation guru, if you will. I don't like that word guru. It sounds so mystical and woo-woo. Maybe we'll call her a meditation woo-woo. She's a meditation woo-woo. But she has this amazing company called Health Journeys, and they do these guided meditation audio files. They create these audio files. It's her voice. She has this incredibly soothing voice, and she goes through this guided imagery meditation. And there's a bunch of them that she has for sale, and they're all different themes, and they're all for different purposes. She's got one for affirmations. She's got one for anxiety and panic. She's even got one for trying to overcome drug addiction and alcoholism. So the point is that she's got like pretty much anything you'd want a meditation for. She's got one, and these are incredible. I also had a really hard time getting into meditation, but I'm recommending this because you're under a lot, and you've got ADHD, and you need to focus. It sounds like you really need something to help you focus and believe in yourself, especially if you're dealing with some failure, where it sounds like you're having to redo some work because you didn't quite get a score you needed or something. And I know how that feels. I know that can be... What's that?
I said, yeah, definitely. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No problem. Yeah, so I know how that feels. I know that can feel really discouraging. And I feel like meditation for you, if you had some guided meditation, I mean, these files are super easy. You literally just put on some headphones, sit in a dark room. They go anywhere from 20 minutes to an hour long, and they're anywhere from like $6 to $12 each. And you own the file once you pay once. And I've done I've owned a bunch of her guided meditations, but I mean, you can use any one of them like 100 times. They never get old. If I put this in the chat, will you check it out? I really think this would be a good resource for you because you're under a lot, and it sounds like you need something to help you maintain focus.
Definitely.
Okay. I'm putting this in the chat for you. There might be some typos. I apologize. Guided meditation. These are truly amazing. And they have really helped me at so many different times in life. I'm really sorry to hear about all that you've been through, and I know what that feels like to have setbacks. I'm really sorry, but I want to encourage you because you've made it so far. You've made it so far. I mean, you made it through law school. That's huge. In fact, like that's such a huge thing that you made it through law school. I think we need to applaud you. I don't know if you can hear the applause on the phone with all the audio issues we've had tonight, but yeah, we're applauding you because I mean that's huge. You made it through law school. That's amazing. And I'm not with as much influence as I have on this call, which is admittedly not much. These are short phone calls we do here, so I can't I'm not going to force you to do anything, of course, and I can't, and I couldn't even if I wanted to. But you are. You've made it so far, and I'm not gonna let you hang up until I hear that that you're ready to keep trying, and I sense that you are ready to keep trying. I'm not saying that you're giving up or something. You've called in here for a reason, of course, but you know I can hear it in your voice. You're dealing with some sense of defeat or some sense of maybe it's that you're exhausted. If you were, that would be understandable. But I really, you know, I want to know that tomorrow you can wake up and have some kind of small step towards the progress you're looking for. And I really think some guided meditation would be a good thing for you because it's cheap, it's easy, you can do it on your own time, and it's just one simple thing you can do every day to refocus and collect yourself and calm the thoughts and especially if you're dealing with ADHD and racing thoughts, that's a really small thing you can do. That's it's on your own time.
I'll definitely try it, and I will be fine, and I'm definitely not giving up.
Good.
You know, I have some time to keep studying and keep progressing before the exam, and hopefully it's enough to pass. You know, I know the material. It's just ADHD mine is very severe. It makes it horrible for taking exams and staying focused for that long of a time frame. But I'm going to keep doing it. You know, made through it to this point. I'm just going to keep going. Like I said, I thought this would be cathartic, and it was. I really, really appreciate you taking the time and doing these calls. It may sound silly, some of the stuff that, you know, I talked about or concerns that, you know,
none of it's
don't
silly.
look that big.
None of it's silly. None of it's silly.
It definitely helped a lot.
I'm glad. Thank you for sharing the way that you did tonight. Thank you for bearing with us through the technical setbacks. I hope they're over for the night. But you know, I love these streams, and I really appreciate callers like you who can just call and be real. That's why we do this. We want to hear from people that can call and be real. So thanks for digging in and getting right to it. And I'm wishing you the best. I'm wishing you the world. I hope that you get the passing grade you need, and that nothing holds you back.
Thank you, and I wish you the best as well. It's amazing what you're doing. I really appreciated it. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Good night.
Bye.
Beautiful. Okay, guys. Lines are opening, and I have seen, just so everybody knows, I feel silly saying this because there's so many things I'm behind on with this stream, but I have seen a caller trying to call in a few times tonight from an international number, and I just want I want everyone to know that right now I'm making an effort to not answer international calls because I'm behind on some things and there's an issue that I have been meaning to resolve. It's supposed to be a toll-free line here, but we've noticed that on some occasions international callers are getting charged, and I'm not sure why, and I'm still looking into that. And so I'm intentionally not answering international calls because I don't know if it's going to charge the caller or not. And it's a simple phone call I got to make. I'm paying for the service, so it shouldn't be doing it. I don't know what the issue is. But that being said, if the caller who's trying to call in internationally right now tonight keeps calling, I will answer it. I'm just giving that disclaimer now that I don't know if they'll be charged for it or not. I have no way to know because it's been hit or miss. So it's up to you, the international caller that's trying to call in. If you're okay with potentially being charged for the call, you can call in. I don't actually make it. It's not coming. The money's not coming to me, but there's a chance someone will be paid if I answer your call. So just a heads up, that will be resolved. It shouldn't be an issue, but it is right now, and I haven't had time to get to it. Okay, so lines are opening. I wanted to make that quick disclaimer. Gonna pour some more water. Hello, thanks for calling.
Hi.
Hello, you are the international caller I was talking about. I answered your call. Did you hear my disclaimer?
Yeah, I was the international caller.
Yeah. Can you turn your speakers down a little bit? I'm getting some feedback.
Yeah. I just had my TV on.
Are you okay if you get charged for this call? I don't know if you will. You shouldn't, but there's a chance you will.
Yeah, no problem. I have an international line, and
okay.
I
do too.
No big deal.
But it's not working for some reason. Nothing's working this week. What's going on? I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. No problem.
Can we start with your age and then just give us a brief rundown of what you're calling about?
Hi, I'm 25.
Okay.
I don't know. I just wanted to call this. I just wanted someone to listen to me because I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes I don't want to talk about my problems with people because I'm a person that has had a normal life. I've had my parents support. I've had people support, but I've always felt so lonely. I don't know. I've suffered with anxiety and depression for a while, but I don't know. My parents, they're I don't know. My dad, he's too into the mental problems don't exist. All those things. Whenever I told them I was in college when I told them I had depression and anxiety, and they kind of acted I don't know, I felt so bad telling them because they acted in a way that I was they couldn't touch me or do something to me because they would hurt me in a way or something. They even I told my parents in in a safe space, I thought, and then they told my sister and my brother, and they would be so into oh, Paul, oh, are you okay? How can we help? And I'm I just wanted to talk to them about how I was. And since I don't know, I thought I was working on it, but since I graduated school, I haven't had a steady job. I've been wanting to do stuff, and I don't know what to do. Lately, I moved back to my parents' house, and I don't know where to start to do stuff. I don't know what to do. Lately, I just lay down in bed all day, And then at night I had like these panic attacks of like that I don't know what I'm doing with my life. And I don't know, since when I was little, a friend passed away, and it was like something that no one like talked to me about it really.
Hmm.
And I would have these panic attacks at night. Like I would cry to my parents, like, hey, like what happens when we die? Like what do we do? But they would be like, oh no, like fall asleep. And I remember having those panic attacks a lot when I was little, and I don't know why lately I've been having those same panic attacks where, like, I just think about like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna die, and I'm not doing anything with my life. I like every friend there, everyone's doing something. I'm not doing anything. My siblings have like, my brother has a girlfriend, my sister has a boyfriend. I don't have anyone. My friends are doing their own stuff that I just feel bad talking to them about how I'm feeling, because I just don't want them to feel that I'm that friend that's always bad. Like I just sometimes I don't know who to talk to.
I see.
And yeah, yeah.
That's a lot. I'm really sorry to hear about all that. Did I hear you say earlier that your parents betrayed your trust, that you told them something in confidence, then they told other people?
Yeah, like in my family, since I was little, I've known that I can't really tell stuff to my parents or my like anyone, because
Right.
whenever I liked a boy when I was like in middle school, they will be like, oh, like my aunts and my grandma, everyone knew about it, and then like, yeah, like lately I've been having those panic attacks, but I don't want them to know. I don't want them to know how I'm feeling, because I just don't want to like. I don't want to go to like a family gathering and then everyone be like, oh, hey, are you okay, or stuff like that. Like,
Right.
yeah, yeah.
You trusted that your parents would just be there for you, and then they made it, uh, sounds like they made it an issue with your whole family, and so now you don't know who to trust. Is that right?
Yeah,
I see. I'm really
yeah.
sorry. That sucks.
It's it's just something that I like talk to friends about this. Like, I don't know why when I was in school I would live alone with roommates, and I would be alone in my house and I would feel great about it. And I don't know why when I move back to my parents' house I feel the loneliest I've ever felt in my life.
Hmm.
Like, I just feel so lonely, and I don't know who to go to.
What is it? It sounds like a big piece of this is you're fearing death. It sounds like you're afraid of dying. Is that right?
Yeah, like really bad. I don't know, like I and I don't know, like I haven't had like really close people to me passed away. Like the closest person that has died has been my grandpa, but I don't know, like I feel like every time that someone has died, like I like no everyone in my family, especially people, like if there's a problem, everyone acts like nothing happened. Like when my grandpa died, I wasn't in the country like at the time, and they didn't let me come to his funeral or anything. They were like, "Oh, everything's okay," and I suffered so much in like a foreign country with people that wasn't that close to me, like just suffering about my grandpa, and everyone was like, "Oh, yeah, everything's okay." Like no one was going through the same thing as I was going through, and then like in middle school a friend passed away, and it was so hard for me because it was like, oh, I thought only old people would die. Why someone that's like 10 years old, same as me, like dying, and no one would like be like explain, like no one explained to me everything. And I feel like now I kind of understand that it's something that has to happen. Like you live your life, and whenever it's time it's going to happen. But I don't know why those feelings like take over me at night, especially because in the day I could just do nothing and think
Right.
about it, but it's okay.
Right.
But at night, especially when I'm alone and the whole house is quiet, I just don't know. It's hard, and I don't know what to do. Right.
Well, it sounds like you don't have a very strong sense of trust with the people in your life. Do you have any friends that you do feel safe around? Do you have anybody that you can trust to talk to? It sounds like you just need someone to talk to. It sounds like you are, yeah, I mean, you said it yourself, you're feeling very lonely. You're dealing with some loneliness. Do you have any friends that you can level with, that you can tell them exactly what you're feeling?
Yeah, but I don't know. Like I, I've always felt like no one would like care or no one would listen, and I just feel bad like throwing everything like talking about everything with my friends, and they would be like, oh, like why would you tell us this, or I don't know. And in the city that I live, is the city that I live right now is the city that I was born in, like, and the city that my whole family lives in, and I moved away for college, like to study somewhere else, because that was like the main reason that I didn't feel like there was someone really close to me here. And when I moved for school, I found a lot of people too, like that are close to me, but I I live like a few hours away from there, and sometimes when I feel like so bad and I just want to leave my house somewhere else, I I don't like I'm not like, oh, I'm gonna drive all those hours, like, because sometimes I feel so shitty, and I don't know, like here in my city I feel like I have no one, like, yeah.
Yeah. You know, it's a big reason I wanted to start this project, to create spaces where people can see how easy it is to listen. Uh, I'm glad that you called in and shared, because you're exactly the kind of person we're doing this for. People's problems can be overwhelming for even a close friend, and I'm not sure why that is either. It drives me nuts. Times I've been through things in my life that are really difficult, and I'm not alone. I'm not trying to make this about me, but I'm saying I can relate, and I'm glad that you're using the space like you are, because I think what you're talking about is a very relatable problem, that people today, for some reason, don't know how to deal with tragedy. And this is what friends are for. This is what family is for. And maybe it's that there's so many bad examples in the world today for what conversation looks like, or how to be there for a friend in need. And I'm not sure how we got so far removed from what that is. I mean, I love that song, Somebody to Lean On, Lean On Me. That's just, the lyrics of that song are so powerful, because we all need somebody to lean on sometimes. That's what friendships are about. And it sounds like it sounds like you know that, and it sounds like you've tried to do that with the people in your life, and they've let you down. And I want to let you know that, first of all, I'm really sorry you've experienced that, and also that I don't want to see you give up on putting yourself out there, and because there is someone out there, there are people out there, there are good friends for you out there that you can trust, and I don't know who they are. I don't know where you live. Please don't tell us where you live, because we don't want to know that here, obviously. But this is something I'm very sure of. There are people out there for you. I don't want you to lose hope in that. There are people out there for you who can hear the hardest thing you're going through and can let you talk. And I don't know where they are. Have you tried any support groups for anxiety or depression or family emotional abuse or something like that? I mean, I wouldn't say necessarily that your family was emotionally abusive. It sounds like they were just untrustworthy. Sounds like you got betrayed by your family. I don't know you or your family. I don't know if they were trying to hurt you, or if they were trying to be malicious, or if they just didn't know any better. All of these are possible. But have you tried some kind of a support group? I mean, it can be a great place to meet people that are also going through other things, and to share and to get support and make new friends. Have you considered that, a support group?
Yeah, I've actually tried, um, but it's really hard in the country that I live in. It's like mental
Caller,
health needs to
bear
be
with
like
us.
a
We're
big
having more
taboo.
audio issues. I'm so sorry. I'm going to reset the stream. Stand by, guys. Okay, guys, we fixed the issue. I'm sorry. I don't know why it's doing that. For some reason, every time that happens, I just reboot the software and it works. Caller, I'm sorry. I asked you if you had considered a support group, and I didn't hear your response.
Oh, yeah. I've actually really considered it, but the big problem is that here in the country that I live in, like, mental health, it's still, like, a big taboo. Like, people don't really, like, work on it. They think you're crazy or you are weak or... Yeah, and I've been looking for it, but the only, like, groups I find is, like, in another country or, like, yeah, usually around where I live or like a city away. Like, I can't find it. Here it's hard.
I see. Offcore, one of our moderators here, is suggesting that you try our Discord server, which is a great idea. Are you in our Discord server? I mean, you can't make physical friends in the Discord server, but it's a great place to, people in there want to listen. You can get support in there. None of us are professionals, but it's full of good people. There's about 700 people in there right now. Are you in that Discord server?
No.
Check the chat. Discord, Offcore, his name's in blue in the chat. His name's Jay. He's a good guy. He's got the link for you in the chat to join. It's totally free. And like I said, it's a Discord server we created just for this. It's the Anonymous Live Discord server, and it's full of people that will listen, full of people that want to be friends. And I'm sure that who knows, maybe there's people living where you are that you could actually connect with in person. I don't know. I also would encourage you, if you go in there, not to reveal your identity as a specific caller in a specific episode. We try to encourage people to maintain their anonymity in the Discord server, but since you're so alone, and since you're in a country where mental health is a taboo, my goodness, I can't imagine. I'm trying to think of anything that might help you. So you might check out the Discord server. I want to encourage you on two things. I have one of the things is another resource I want to suggest. But before we go there, I want to say that, first of all, Joseph Levi from the chat says to you, you are not weak, caller. Don't listen to those fools. And that's what I'm trying to tell you here. You're not weak. And I'm really sorry that you've been told that, or that, and that you've been let down by the people closest to you. I want to encourage you to keep trying to make new friends. I don't know what that means for you. I don't know if that means joining some kind of community or some kind of church or some kind of whatever it is. I don't know you or what your beliefs are, but I'm trying to think of ways where you could meet new people, because it sounds like you need new people in your life. And I don't want you to give up on that because you've been let down. Does that make you think of anything? Do you have any ideas of where you can meet some new people?
Yeah, like, I'm looking on, like, moving somewhere else. That's, like, one of the reasons, like, one of the things that I've been thinking for a while. I've been looking for some, like, continue my schooling and see if I can move somewhere else where I can meet people that are not like the same people that I've known my whole life.
A fresh start. Yeah, maybe that would help.
Yeah.
I want to recommend the same thing to you that I recommended to a previous caller here tonight, the work of Bella Ruth Naparstek. Did you hear the part of that call earlier where we were talking about her?
Yeah.
I'm gonna recommend you check her out too. If you're dealing with some crippling thoughts about death and loneliness, I mean, my goodness, I think there's like maybe 5 Bella Ruth Naparstek guided meditations that would be beneficial for you, and they're not too expensive, and you can do them on your own time. It sounds like the nighttime is the hardest time for you. Nighttime is an excellent time to do a guided meditation. And Bella Ruth Naparstek, I cannot say enough good things about her. I just put it in the chat for you. highly encourage you to check out her work. Um, and I think that could be a good thing for you. Masked Bee from the chat has a good idea. I don't know if this exists where you are, but they're suggesting maybe joining a hobby group could get you exposed to new people with common interests, cooking or art classes of some kind, or a sport cardio kind of thing, maybe like a bike riding club or something like that, could hopefully open the door to new connections. That's an excellent idea. Also, Cheesy Boy says book clubs. That's another great idea. These are all excellent ideas. I'm really sorry that you're so lonely and dealing with fear of death. Like, I mean, that's a heavy load. I can hear it in your voice. I'm really sorry. That's a lot to be going through. But I'm trying my best to throw some ideas your way on ways to meet new people, because I think that's a big thing. It sounds like you need some new people in your life, and I think some kind of hobby group or book club or something like that where people are, especially something around exercise, where people, I mean, exercise is a great way to get your spirits up, to motivate yourself. Do you exercise? I know that's it's a cliche question. Everybody asks it, but do you exercise?
Barely. Rarely. Like once every 2 weeks. Yeah, I don't have money, and because I don't have money, I stay in bed almost all day. Yeah, I feel like sometimes I like part of me just don't want just wants to like be alone and not do anything.
Well, we can't let you do that. I believe you just said that money, you're short on money, and so you kind of keep yourself, you're kind of stuck at home sometimes, and also that you get to these places where you don't feel like doing anything. And I wanna tell you, we got to find a way for you to get out there, put yourself out there. And if money's tight, you don't have to spend money to be part of a book club. I mean, maybe buying the book, but you can also go to a library and get a book. There's tons of things you can do for free where you can meet new people and take care of yourself. But it sounds like the first step for you is going to be some kind of thing you can do at home on your own time. That's why I think some kind of guided meditation would be a great first step for you, because you can do those alone. You can do them on your own time. These guided meditations can help you. You'd be amazed how much they can help you process on your own time the things you're going through. And maybe that's the first step that you need to get yourself out the door, meeting new people. Maybe you need a boost of confidence. In fact, I'm 99% sure Bella Ruth Naprostek has some kind of affirmations for confidence. Yeah, here we go. It's like the first one on her page, affirmations for mind, body, and spirit. I'm pretty sure she has another one with the title confidence. And I'm sensing maybe you need some kind of confidence boost. And you can absolutely get that through meditation. Yeah. I'm not sure if you think I'm talking hocus pocus or not, but it's really just about, meditation's not hocus pocus. It's really just about connecting with yourself and centering yourself, grounding yourself, forcing yourself to focus on just your breath and nothing else. And that can work wonders for your focus, for your concentration, for your confidence. And so that's why I'm recommending this resource. I think it could be a great thing for you to, here we go, self-confidence. She has one on self-confidence. She has another one on self-mastery. She also has one on stopping smoking. My goodness, she's got so many. But I just believe so strongly that, I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. I mean, doing some meditation at home is a great way to, it's a great step towards putting yourself out there again. And it sounds, you've been hurt, caller. You've been hurt so many times by the people closest to you, your own parents. That's heavy. I mean, you're going to need some time to heal from that. I'm not sure how recently that happened, but you're going to need time to heal from that. And if you haven't intentionally taken the steps to heal from that, it doesn't matter how much time has passed. You won't heal from it unless you intentionally take those steps. And I think meditation can be a great way to do that. But, the goal for you is getting some good quality people in your life. It sounds like you don't have that. Do you understand why I'm connecting that to the meditation? Does that make sense? And what are you thinking about that?
Yeah, it actually makes sense. Like, yeah, I feel like I haven't like taken that step of like starting to like heal. I I've come to a point where like I want to heal, but I don't do anything about it. And I feel like a good way to start is like to start meditation, or the chat says, like maybe I can like go to like a book club or exercise at a park and maybe meet people there.
Right. Kristen Canule from the chat is saying, if money is a big issue, there's also guided meditations available on YouTube. That's a great point. I'm not sure how tight money is. The Belarus Naprostek guided meditations do cost money, but they're not super expensive. They're no more than they're between $6 and $12. Some of them are shorter, some of them are longer. But if you can't spend that kind of money right now, then there's also great resources on YouTube for free. So I'm just trying to think of anything that I don't want anything to stand in your way from this healing, because you deserve it. You've been through so much. You've gone through this on your own, and you've been hurt. And I want you to know that's not okay, and that there's good friends out there for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. It's yeah. I feel like I just let out something that I have like stuck in, like something that I've been wanting to talk about for a while, and that's like the main thing, the main reason that I called, because I just wanted to be heard, like just heard. Because sometimes when I try to like speak to friends I have, people like start to like give out their opinion about stuff, or like they don't wait until you finish and they're just already like talking. And yeah, that's thank you.
Thank you for calling and sharing like this. I'm wishing you the best. Take it easy on yourself. Everyone dies, first of all. I don't sense you're going to die. I don't sense you're about to die, I should say. You're definitely going to die. Yeah. But I don't think it's going to be anytime soon. And I want you to take it easy on yourself. Fear of death is actually something that motivates most people. Most people do not come to terms with the fact that they are going to die. The denial of death drives so much human action. It's crazy. And you might do some reading on that. You might even read the book Denial of Death. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that book or not.
No.
You're not familiar with that book, Denial of Death?
No.
By Ernest Becker. I'll put that in the chat for you. Might be an interesting book for you to read. But this is in Bhutan, the country of Bhutan. The Bhutanese people. It's a third world country, but they are. Studies have shown the citizens of Bhutan are the happiest citizens of any third world country. And it's because, sorry, I'm typing something into the chat for you. Ernest Becker. This might be full of typos, but it's in there for you. The Bhutanese people meditate 2 times a day. They have a ritual where they meditate 2 times a day for 5 minutes at least on their own death. And they do that. It sounds depressing to most other people in other places around the world, but this practice, they do it because it's not to be depressing. They do it to focus their life. They do it to think, okay, look, I've got limited time here on this planet. What is it I want to do with my time here? What is it I want people to remember about me after I'm gone? What do I want to stand for while I'm still standing? And it's a habit I've picked up. I don't do it religiously. I don't really do anything religiously. Very few things religiously, I guess I'd say. But this is a habit I've picked up. I do it most days, where I just meditate. It's not methodical. I don't do it methodically. But I just try to make some time every day focusing on the fact that I'm going to die one day, and I don't know when. Maybe today, maybe I get hit by a bus today, maybe 50, 70 years from now, who knows? But what is it I'm going to do with my time? How do I want to live? And I want to encourage you that maybe you could do some of that. And you don't need a guided, you can do it for just 5 minutes. You can do it for when you wake up. I like to do it when I'm in bed, right before I'm falling asleep, because it's not like something I have to, when I'm doing a Belarus napper stack meditation, that's like I'm wearing headphones, I'm sitting somewhere for like an hour. It's like not really conducive to do in bed, for me anyways. But doing a meditation on death, on your own death, 5 minutes when you wake up before you get out of bed, right before you fall asleep, it's a great way to start your day, end your day. It's not to be depressing. It's not supposed to be a sad meditation, but you mentioned that you're wrestling with some fear of death, impending doom, I'd call it. And so I thought that might be an interesting thought for you to think about. Some kind of death meditation for a few minutes every day, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, that could work.
You sound like a beautiful soul. I'm really sorry to hear about all you've been through. I really do want to encourage you to get into the Discord server. You might meet some great people in there. In fact, I sense the call is winding down. Is there anything else that you wanted to share? And if not, I'm going to invite you into the Discord. If that's all you wanted to share, we'll probably wind the stream down early tonight. And if that's the case, I'll go into the Discord voice chat to hang out with everybody for the next 10 minutes. But before we do that, I want to make sure that you've gotten to say everything you need to say, and that we want to make this a good call for you. So, is there anything else on your mind?
No, that was all. Thank you so much for listening.
Well, we're going to be in the Discord hanging out for the next 10 minutes, so maybe come join us. If you do that, I would ask that maybe maybe it's not the best night for you to join because people might recognize your accent, but you could at least get in there and kind of hang out in the chat anonymously. I mean, it's really up to you at the end of the day, but we ask people to just consider the benefits of remaining anonymous in the Discord, even if they're a caller, just so people don't think, we don't want it to become about like a contest of who's been on the show and who's not. Like, we want people to go in there and be a real community. So that's the reason we ask that. But we are going to wind down the stream since it sounds like you've reached the end of what you want to share. So I'm extending that invitation to you. If you want to come hang out with us in the Discord, we'll be there for the next 10 minutes.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Well, thanks for calling. I'm wishing you the best. And please call again. I'd love to hear a good update from you in the future.
Yeah, you will. I will.
Sounds good.
Thank you so much.
Take care of yourself. Good night.
Bye.
All right, everyone. You heard it here. We're gonna call it a night because it doesn't make sense to get into another call with 9 minutes left. I will go hang out in the Discord server. I tend to do that when we find ourselves in this situation. It would be only cruel to start another call just to end it in 10 minutes, and I can't go late tonight at all. No flexibility tonight. But I'm gonna sign off now. We'll be in the Discord hanging out for a few minutes. Thank you guys so much for watching. We do these 3 times a week on Sundays, Tuesdays, Thursdays at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. You guys are awesome. Thanks for all the thoughts in the chat. The chat is a huge resource for these callers afterwards, so it's amazing what you guys do here with us. Huge shout out to Offcore for being our sole mod tonight. Offcore, your baller. We love you, sir. Offcore's in London, so yeah, you guys, nobody has any excuse for saying this stream is too late for them, because Offcore is here most of the time, and he's in England. So put that in your pipe and smoke it. All right, guys, have a great night. See you on Sunday. Right back here. We'll be here. Take care.